I know I mentioned this in my last episode, but I'm very excited about it and I feel like I need to elaborate. So I'm changing NFL teams. That's right, bitch ass homen in the comments. I'm breaking the cardinal rule. Come at me, suck my dick.
I just wanna have fun.
What's up, everybody? How is your week going? Welcome to She Toasted. My week, I genuinely do not know how my week is going because I'm coming down from a lot of things. Maybe I'm coming down from the high of seeing Kid Cudi live for the second time, but this was an amazing experience. Oh my gosh, if you have never seen Kid Cudi perform before, it's like half the crowd is crying, half the crowd is on shrooms. Everybody leaves feeling like a healed baddie regardless. So I don't know a single person who has a bad time leaving a Kid Cudi concert, but it's possible that I'm just coming down from the high of that because it was such an amazing time. And like when I'm at concerts, it's one of the only times that I can be present. So I'm like, okay, coming down. Or maybe I'm having a weird week because I'm the mom of a two-year-old. When you don't plan on being a parent, it's some weeks just hit you in a different way and it really gets you in the balls, you know? And I love my son. Bo is sweet. He's athletic. He's hilarious. He's smarter than any Trump supporter I've ever met. But the 2-year-old stage is not for me. Okay, like the baby stage was okay. You can bring them places. You can bring them wherever they're just sleeping in their car seat or their, what's it called? What's it actually called? Huh? A car seat? It is a car seat. Yeah. Okay, when they're sleeping in their car seat, like you could just bring them to a restaurant. You could bring them to a sporting event. You could do anything with a baby. A toddler? Abso-fucking-lutely not. You can't do anything. It's a 24/7 job. You can't even have a conversation with them of like, oh, this is going to be the thing that happens tomorrow or later tonight. Or, oh, if you eat your dinner, you get this. There are no bribes involved when it comes to a 2-year-old. When it comes to a 2-year-old, you just got to keep running. And every parent was always like, oh, just enjoy it. Don't wish for him to grow up. Every parent. By the way, it's mainly Gen X parents that are saying this to me. So Gen Xers, I'm calling you out because you guys continue to constantly say, just enjoy this moment. Just enjoy this moment when he's just so little and he's not going to be this little anymore and he's not going to want you like that. No. Why would I miss chasing him down for every little bite of food for his meal instead of like a 6-year-old who, and I know you with 6-year-olds who have bad eating habits are going to come into the comment section, but for a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old, I feel like you could just sit down and be like, here's our dinner. Let's have a nice time together. Let's hang out as a family. With a 2-year-old, I'm like, one more bite, and maybe we'll make it through the rest of the night. I mean, it's like every bite is a chore. So no, I'm not going to miss that. You guys, and I mean you guys by the Gen Xer parents who keep talking to me about this. You also said this when he was crawling. You're like, don't wish for him to walk. I really wanted my son to walk. I wanted him to walk really early because I wanted him to be able to do walking activities. With crawling activities, he's literally on the ground just eating whatever he sees because he's looking at the ground all day. I was not super down for the crawling phase. I really wanted him to walk. Everybody's just, don't wish that. Don't wish that upon yourself. And then he started walking and guess what? I was fucking thrilled. Okay? I was fucking thrilled because I know myself. And if my son came home tomorrow with a mortgage and a Costco membership, I'd be like, look at that little bastard. That's my little responsible bastard. Okay, look at him. My boy is thriving. That is what I would think. I am very excited for the older ages when I can have conversations with him and, you know, just be a normal adult. But right now we're not an adult. Right now we're spending hours of energy trying to get a chicken nugget into a tiny mouth. So I think parents need to give less advice to other parents and instead just be there to vent because every kid is different. We all know this. Every parenting style is different. What I need is parent friends who are just going to be there to like smoke a doobie when I need it, you know? Okay, this is such a cliche, but everyone should parent the same way, or everybody should do. I know people parent and then something works for them and then they want to relay that information to somebody else because they think that's going to work for them too. And that shit is insufferable. Okay, so just be there to smoke a doob with me, and that's all I ask. If you're a mom in Utah, by the way, shout out, come slide into my DMs. I got no mom friends. Okay. Maybe my week feels weird because I accidentally tried to kill myself by leaving a tampon in for far too long. Yeah. Then I spent the week trying to convince myself that I did not have some rare disease because nothing says highly researched like women's healthcare. Am I right? So yeah, that was super fun. 10 out of 10, don't recommend that for anybody. But let's talk about the news because that's super fun. And that's always something that is on my mind. The White House looks like they spent billions of dollars on another expensive party while Americans are literally crowdfunding insulin. May as well be. The priorities for this administration are absolutely insane. I will never understand it, but that could be an entire episode in and of itself, even just what they do in 1 week. So I'm sure we'll get that going. The World Cup is also happening. I'm not a big fan of soccer. I'm a big sports fan, but I'm not a big fan of soccer. To me, it's just like nothing happens until it does. You know what I mean? Like nothing's happening the entire time for me until it does. Whereas football, I can like keep it moving. There's something that seems to be going on all the time. But with soccer, I'm not the biggest fan. However, Haiti is in the World Cup. And my youngest siblings are adopted from Haiti. We are big Haiti stans in this house. We brawl for Haiti, whatever they do. So go Haiti, let's go. That's who I'm pulling for this entire time. While we're talking about the World Cup, I do want to kind of bring it into a serious mode for a second, and then we'll pick it back up. But I want to talk about Iran's team. Since I am incapable of separating sports from politics because it's all intertwined, one thing that drives me absolutely nuts is how quickly Americans stop seeing people as people once they live on another side of a border or speak a different language or a different color, but mainly if they speak a different language. Americans will hear Iran and immediately think enemy, war, regime. A lot of them. They don't think daughters, sons, parents, soccer fans, people just trying to live their lives. Our governments may be in conflict, but regular people just want the same things. We want safety, we want family, we want community, we want a future that doesn't involve bombs falling on us. I feel like that's a pretty reasonable ask. Like, the bomb that killed 168 elementary school girls in Iran with seemingly no remorse from this administration. I want us to just take that for a second and think about our own events that have happened in America. Let's think about 9/11 or Sandy Hook, some big tragedies that have happened in America. We milk those, and I don't mean to say that in a negative way or a way that makes it bad, especially for the people who are grieving family members or somebody that they knew personally, but we milk these tragedies in America for decades. Hashtag never forget. And I just want Americans to just imagine like what our reaction would be to 168 elementary school girls being murdered by another country, and then you have to go to that country to live out your dream of participating in the World Cup, but that country prevents you from being there any longer than game time. So you have a major player disadvantage by adding game day travel to every single game that they play. I mean, no wonder they're boycotting and holding up little girls' backpacks as a reminder of what America did. Hashtag never forget what the Iranian team is doing with those backpacks. It's a good reminder that the entire population of a country isn't the government. It's not the regime. They're real people. They're real people who see the tweets that Trump says where he says he's going to wipe out an entire civilization and fear for their lives. It's really important when we look at politics to see people as people. This is why a fight for equality and movements for equality happen. It's when people see people as human beings, everything changes. Meanwhile, Elon becomes the world's first trillionaire, whoop-de-dooperoo, which is wild because if I became the world's first trillionaire, I mean, have you ever thought about what you would do if you became the world's first trillionaire? In fact, drop it in the comments. If you were the world's first trillionaire, what would you do with that money? Because I would make myself a personal superhero. I would be the superhero. I would be Captain Marvel. Is that the girl? I'd be Captain Marvel. I would be, wait, is that a guy? It is a girl? I'd be Captain Marvel. I'd be Wonder Woman. Actually, that's what I'd be with my last name. I'd be Wonder Woman. I would build affordable housing. I would fund public schools. I'd start a fucking cult. I mean, I would be an amazing cult leader. Nothing dangerous, though. Nothing super dangerous. Just like matching sweatshirts, sorority-esque type things, but we'd throw in stuff like free healthcare, community talent shows, and things of that nature. It would be a time, okay? Somebody make me the world's first trillionaire so that I can start this cult, because I actually think it would be a really good time. But it'd be a very chill cult. No, Elon ain't doing that. Elon is becoming a trillionaire, and then the dude still doesn't even pay his 100 baby mamas decent child support. So somebody take his passport away. I heard there's a rule going in place. If you're not paying child support, your passport's getting taken away. I know he is technically paying child support, but for a trillionaire to be paying one of your baby mamas like $100K, come on. That's embarrassing. Now, while all this stuff in the news matters to a certain extent, and it does, I mean, it matters deeply. It matters. I say it like that, but it matters so deeply to me that I had to get on medication from last year to this year. Thanks to Lexapro. So I'm not just like tossing it out, but all those things matter. However, when it comes to my personal life, I'm trying to find balance this year, okay? So I'm focused on other things as well. I do want to keep in tune with the news. I want to stay up to date with what's going on. I would like to film episodes where I'm informing people and stuff that's just kind of hard to comprehend and you don't really know where to go for information, like the current war that we are currently in. I would like to film episodes like that, but for the most part, I do like to keep a balance. I want to keep things light as well. So I know I mentioned this in my last episode, but I'm very excited about it and I feel like I need to elaborate. So I'm changing NFL teams. That's right, bitch ass homen in the comments. I'm breaking the cardinal rule. Come at me, suck my dick. Here's how my NFL fandom started. One of my longest time buddies got a job coaching for the Chiefs, and this was a while ago. I grew up only watching the University of Utah football and Yankees, because I grew up in New York, but my parents grew up in Utah. So my dad passed down college football, but he didn't pass down an NFL team or anything. So we didn't really grow up with an NFL team specifically. So when my buddy got this job with the Chiefs, I was like, oh, okay, I'll just like the Chiefs. They were not really on anybody's radar at the time. This was before Travis knew Taylor, okay? I knew Travis before Taylor knew Travis. All right, let's get that fucking clear. But I joined Chiefs Kingdom. I was stoked about it. Like a couple years later, we start just winning Super Bowls left and right. So I was like, this is great. But at the same time, I was like, now everyone's going to think I'm a bandwagon. Okay, whatever. But then they'd ask me, why are you a Chiefs fan? My friend coaches for the team. And they're like, oh, okay, whatever. But in my heart of hearts, I was still kind of upset that I didn't pick a New York team or a team from just a place where I'm from. Obviously, Utah doesn't have a team, but I also lived a lot of my childhood in DC. So Maryland, DC teams, New York teams. Anyways, I've been a hardcore Chiefs fan for the better part of the last decade, but my buddy has recently jumped ship to a different coaching position. And I have been thinking for the last 1 to 2 years whether I wanted to jump ship to a New York team. And that's the only thing that I would leave the Chiefs for, is a New York team, I decided. So after much debate, since I'm from the city and not from Buffalo, the Bills were out, unfortunately. That would be way too much of a bandwagon situation for me. And no one in their right mind would choose the Jets. So I am officially dedicating my lifelong fandom to the New York Giants. And I am stoked. I'm stoked about the potential. I'm stoked about this change. My family was living in New York when the Super Bowl happened, where Eli Manning beat Tom Brady at the last minute. And New York is always going to be a big part of my upbringing. So this decision just feels right in my soul. What's funny is apparently switching NFL teams is worse than switching religions, which I've done both in my adult life. But switching means I have new enemies now. So the Cowboys, easy. Fuck right off. I've always hated the Cowboys. The Commanders, fine, whatever. The Eagles, that's kind of complicated because Jalen Hurts is my husband. I don't know if he knows that. I did buy his book, so I think we're getting pretty serious. And he doesn't fuck with Trump. So I'd say he's a winner in my book. But the truth is, with football in general and why I love football so much, is it's helped me in bigger ways, not just being a hobby or something that I like to watch. Football has been way more than that for me. So when my best friend died, I remember sitting on my couch completely wrecked, realizing that football games were the only thing that would hold my attention for about 3 hours and give me some sort of reprieve. So for a few hours every Thursday, Sunday, and Monday, I got a break from grief. And sports kind of gave my brain somewhere else to go when everything else hurt. That's probably why football means so much to me. And while you'll hear me talk about it a lot, especially when the season starts, it was therapy in a way that I can't even describe. Singing would have been that way for me too, had it not been for trauma snatching my voice, but we'll get her back. We're practicing, and I'll go into kind of why that took place. I did not realize how much trauma could just like snatch from your body, but it did a lot of damage. So we're just trying to like work our way back up. I've also recently picked up golf. Golf is simultaneously the best and the worst thing I've ever done. One day you feel like Tiger Woods, and the next day you're questioning every life decision you've ever made while a retired accountant watches you shank a ball directly into a pond. So that's super fun. Golf is also the only sport where everyone acts like they're performing open heart surgery. Basketball players have screaming fans in their face. Football players have 300-pound men trying to kill them. Meanwhile, golf announcers are whispering like somebody's grandma is like passing away in the next room. And they're just like, Scotty out here on the back nine, just waiting for those putts to carry him through. He's been absolutely incredible with his drives. Now he just needs somebody to put it in his butt so he can loosen up a bit, get those final putts in. I mean, it is hilarious. Like golf is seriously, how serious golfers take golf in general is ridiculous. It's so funny, but I love it. I love every part of it. Now, the other thing I recently did was buy a dirt bike. Now, before anybody panics, this was basically a children's bike, okay? I have not even ridden a regular bike since high school. So we're starting off very small. This is a Razor brand, but I want to learn, okay? I'm trying to shed the gnar, get pelted with some rocks and dirt, maybe build a ramp and send it. I don't fucking know. Honestly, part of buying the bike was just for funsies and just because I wanted an adrenaline rush. And then the other part was for my best friend that passed away. This week, the week that I'm filming, I don't know when I'm going to post this, but the week that I'm filming this episode marks 5 years since my best friend passed away. He was killed on a motorcycle. So in a weird way, getting on two wheels feels symbolic. Not because I'm trying to recreate anything, but because sometimes grief has a way of making you afraid to live, afraid to take chances, afraid to try things, afraid to love people because you know how much it hurts when they're gone. That is a big thing for me, and I'll do a whole episode on grief, but maybe that's why I'm trying to change it up this year. Maybe that's why I am taking on golf. Maybe that's why I switched NFL teams. Maybe that's why I bought a dirt bike. Maybe that's why I'm doing this podcast. Maybe that's why I'm getting in the studio again. I don't know. But the older I get, the more I realize that healing isn't moving on. It's just continuing to move forward in whatever capacity you can. And those are two very different things, which I'm navigating and learning and discovering as I go. So if you're listening to this and you're carrying something really heavy, just know that you're not alone. Go find your football, find your golf, find your dirt bike, find singing, find the thing that reminds you that you're still here. I saw this quote that says, "The older I get, the more I think happiness is just a collection of moments where you forget to be somewhere else." And with ADHD thriving, I'm constantly somewhere else in my head. So with the news being so polarizing and daily living being stressful, it's hard to not lose yourself and lose sight of how to be present. But we can do this together, and I'll share any tips that I have along the way because I really want to master the art of presence this year. I think that that's really important. And the only time that I feel like I'm really present is when I'm singing or I'm laughing at something with my friends or I'm playing a sport and I'm really immersed in that thing, or I'm like having an intimate moment with someone. And that's why I like to connect with people. I really want to try to master or get better at, because you would probably never master this, the art of presence. But anyway, that's enough emotional growth for one episode. Go drink some water, call someone you love, and for the love of God, don't leave a tampon in for a week, okay, heathens? Oh my God, I love you guys so much. Don't be mean. Don't make the mistakes that I make, okay? This is She Toasted. I'm your host, Rachel Wonderly. And a toast to New York sports. Heyo, may the Giants rise again. May the Yankees forever stay arrogant. And may the Knicks forever be relevant from this day forth. See you next time, heathens.
I just want